nominate Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
I so second.
I rise to humbly accept the nomination.
Is hereby declared the winner and returned elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
The Naira has lost a great percent of its value against the dollar.
House urged CBN to implement monetary policies that will stabilize the Naira.
Lack of proper regulation on prices of commodities has resulted in unpredictable rise.
And lawmakers call for the implementation of Price Control Act to curb inflation and high cost of living. This is House Tickets, a program that documents the activities of the House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria. A warm welcome. My name is Dihelia Mamza. In our lineup today, lawmakers call on the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to tackle the effect of the dwindling Naira against the dollar as well as other currencies. In another development, the House also considered a motion on the need to implement the Price Control Act in the face of skyrocketing inflation and cost of living in the country, as prompted by the high cost of petroleum products and the ever-increasing exchange rates differentials. These matters were considered during plenary last week. From the committee rooms, we bring you a report on the engagement of the Ad-hoc Committee set up to screen and confirm presidential nominees as members of the board and management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. All of this when the program begins right after this timeout. Please stay tuned.
The House will pay priority attention to participatory budgeting process and delivery, law reform, electoral reform, women's participation and inclusion in governance, among others.
Thank you for staying tuned. Plenary in the week was presided over by the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, following the Speaker's visit to India to attend the 9th P20 Summit and G20 Parliamentary Forum.
This will be adjourned to tomorrow, same time, in honor of the dead.
The House, however, did not sit in plenary on Wednesday, 11th October 2023. This was because of the death of its member, Representative Abdul Qadir Jilani Dambaga, representing Isa Sabon Birni, Federal Constituency of Sokoto State. He died on that Wednesday after a brief illness. The House observed a minute's silence in honor of the deceased before adjourning plenary for that day.
Rest in perfect peace.
We shall continue with reports from plenary for Tuesday 10th and Thursday 12th October 2023, where motions were moved and numerous resolutions taken on them. The report is compiled and presented from our studio. Keep watching.
Faithful, loyal, and honest to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity. There is a letter from Mr. President.
On Tuesday 10th October 2023, plenary started with a letter from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu seeking the House to confirm the chairman and governing board of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. He expressed optimism that the House will find the candidates worthy for confirmation.
The top management of NDDC should be confirmed by the Senate in consultation with the House of Representatives. It is therefore clear that where there is an express provision of law for any authority, including the legislature, to act in a matter, it cannot be expanded, it cannot be minimized or abrogated. We are all aware that NDDC has been in the news for some time now for one reason or the other. But it is our desire that they are in the news for good cause only. Therefore, honorable colleagues, we should therefore pay expeditious attention to Mr. President's request.
An ad-hoc committee was set up to that effect to join the Screening and Confirmation Committee of the Senate for the exercise. The membership of the ad-hoc committee was announced by the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu.
This committee will be chaired by Honorable Ibori Eriatek Suenu, and the deputy in that committee will be Honorable Jafaru Leko. And this committee will have strong presence of leaders of the House.
This motion on urgent public importance is co-sponsored by...
Moving on, the House entertained several matters of urgent public importance, one of which was moved by Representative Amos Magaji Gwamna alongside 4 lawmakers from Kaduna State. It was on the urgent need to stop fungal disease from the cultivation of ginger in southern Kaduna State.
The disease, which started in July, some farmers, in combating the disease caused by various fungal pathogens, had applied insecticides, pesticides, but their effort did not yield any meaningful result, as pests continually destroy the farms. Concerned that the fungal disease affecting ginger production in southern Kaduna has become an epidemic, which has caused the farmers to lose over 10 billion worth of ginger sales, and the disease is still rapidly destroying their crops. Some farmers slumped and died after coming face to face with the condition of their ginger farms. Further concerned that the situation has affected their yield after they had sunk billions of naira. Some of these farmers got loan through banks, cooperative societies, well-spirited individuals, with the promise that after harvesting their crops, these loans will be repaid.
In his prayers, the lawmaker urged the Ministry of Agriculture to establish a reliable research mechanism and provide improved ginger seedlings to farmers. He also called on the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank of Nigeria to provide financial succor to the farmers who have lost so much. He then called on the relevant committees of the House to ensure compliance.
Seconded, say aye.
The motion was voted on, adopted, and referred to the House Committee on Agricultural Production and Services, as well as other relevant committees of the House.
The ayes have it.
I would like, with the permission of the Honourable Speaker,
Representative Hussein Mohammed Jallo on Thursday, 12 October 2023, moved a motion on the need to implement the Price Control Act in the face of skyrocketing inflation and cost of living in the country, as occasioned by the high cost of petroleum products and the ever-increasing exchange rate differentials.
the lack of proper regulation on prices of commodities has resulted in unpredictable rise on the cost of petroleum products, especially petroleum, motor spirit PMS, automobile, gas oil AGO, and kerosene. The volatility in the pricing affect the transportation sector, which in turn influence the cost of living for the ordinary citizen. Cognizant that if the present economic hardship in the nation is left unchecked, it will lead to economic disparity and subsequently contribute to social unrest and discontent among the citizenry, and perceive the government to be insensitive to the needs of the populace.
His prayer was a call on the House to urge the Federal Ministry of Commerce to set up and inaugurate the Price Control Board with a view to implementing the existing act. The board will oversee the price of petroleum products and ensure that marketers don't take undue advantage of consumers depending on the prevailing price on the international market.
Those in support of this motion say aye.
The motion was adopted as passed and referred to the House Committee on Commerce.
The ayes have it.
Away from matters of urgent public importance to motions from the order paper, Representative Haruna Ismail Dabo moved a motion on the need for the Central Bank of Nigeria to address the impact of the failing Naira against the dollar and other currencies on the Nigerian economy.
The Naira has lost a great percent of its value against the dollar, falling from $778.602 per dollar as of September 26, 2023, and nearly 1,000 or more per dollar now at the parallel market, making it the first time Nigeria has liberalized the foreign exchange market. Worried about inflation and the cost of living, depreciating Naira makes imported goods more expensive, leading to higher inflation rates. This increased cost of living disproportionately affects the most vulnerable citizens as they struggle to afford basic necessities, which are now glaring across the country.
Every other currency in West Africa today.
The motion enjoyed the support of some lawmakers, while others proposed amendments to the prayers contained in it.
Mr. Speaker, in some high-end markets, in the real estate, in Lagos, in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, they charge dollars. Mr. Speaker, this is criminal. It should not be allowed, it should be stopped. And this is what this motion is talking about. There is responsibility that must be carried out. In some schools, private schools in Nigeria, they charge you dollars.
What is putting pressure on our currency today is that we are import dependent. Nigeria is depending so much on everything. We import everything into this country. And we need to encourage agriculture by all means.
The Ghanaian currency, Liberian currency, every other currency in West Africa today, values more higher than the Naira. I think there's an emergency on our hand, and it's high time that those who are in charge of our policies act in the manner that shows that they know there's an emergency.
Mr. Speaker, if it were in a developed country that you wake up the next day and the currency shifts a little bit, somebody will leave his job. But here, nothing is happening. Dollar will rise up tomorrow and everything continues like that. But it is our responsibility to hold those that are driving these policies, to hold them to account.
The issue of Forex, there are artificial reasons and there are natural reasons, whether we like it or not in this country. And we have to look inward, because according to H.S. Aga, the truth that set men free is mostly the truth that men prefer not to hear.
The motion was voted on and adopted as the House resolved to urge the Central Bank of Nigeria to implement monetary policy adjustments to stabilize the currency, address speculative activities in the forex market, and increase the withdrawal limit of the Naira to reduce the pressure on dollars and other foreign currencies. Also urge the federal government to formulate policies and structural reforms to reduce corruption and promote economic diversification within the nation's economy. Further urge the federal government to promote exportation and reduce importation by enhancing foreign investors' confidence on its fiscal and monetary policies. Mandate the Committees on Banking Regulations and National Security and Intelligence to interface with the Central Bank of Nigeria with the purpose of initiating compliance strategies, and also mandate the Committee on Banking Regulation to investigate the use of US dollars and other foreign currencies as legal tender for domestic transactions in Nigeria.
2023 International Day of the Girl Child.
In another development, Representative Kafilat Ogbara moved a motion on the commemoration of the 2023 International Day of the Girl Child under the theme Invest in Girls' Rights, Our Leadership, Our Well-Being.
The House is informed that investment in critical steps such as the girls' rights under the Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, and the Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC, will help to fast-track the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. The House is informed that the current trend in Nigeria reveals that young girls who are sexually abused by their parents and guardians return back home to the same house where they were abused after police intervention.
The lawmaker prayed the House to urge the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, National Orientation Agency, NOA, and other stakeholders to initiate ways of educating and sensitizing adolescent girls on the dangers of drug and alcohol abuse in commemoration of the 2023 International Day of the Girl Child in Nigeria going forward. also urged the ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, that are saddled with the responsibility of training and empowerment to ensure compulsory vocational skills acquisition for girls to keep them engaged and productive enough to keep them away from drugs. Further urged the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, the Maryam Babangida National Center for Women Development, and the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, to build a well-furnished rehabilitation shelter/homes for sexual abuse survivors across the 36 states and the FCT. Again, urged the Federal Ministry of Education to drastically reduce/eradicate the number of out-of-school girls by ensuring compulsory free education for girls across the country, and mandate the Committee on Women Affairs to engage with relevant ministries, departments, and agencies to ensure compliance.
Those in support of this motion say aye.
The motion was adopted and referred to the House Committee on Women Affairs as well as that of Education. Away from motions, the House considered a bill for second reading. It was titled A Bill for an Act to Amend the Armed Forces Act, Cap A20, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the appointment of the Chief of Defense Staff and the engagement as consultants of senior compulsory retired officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces to provide training and guidance to serving officers and for related matters, sponsored by Representative Benjamin Okezie Kalu, Representative Gaza Jonathan Gwefi, and 6 others. The debate was led by Representative Gaza Jonathan Gwefi.
Army officers that are retired before their ages of mandatory retirement in order to maintain institutional knowledge and to fully harness the investments that have been made into these military officers, that they become more of consultants and train the younger generations or younger crop of officers that are coming up behind them. It equally aims to increase the retirement age for Army officers, considering the amount of investment made into them, to 65 years, and of course 65 years and 40 years having been in the service.
Motion say aye.
The bill was adopted, passed, and referred to the House Committee on Defense. Meanwhile, several bills were presented for first reading, some of which are Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act Amendment Bill 2023, sponsored by Representative Mukhtar Shagaya; Federal University of Aviation Technology Akonike Enugu State Establishment Bill 2023, sponsored by Representative Paul Nnamchi; National Institute of Fisheries and Aquaculture Studies Abigi Ogun State Establishment Bill 2023, sponsored by Representative Joseph Adegbesan; and National Prosecution Management Commission Establishment Bill 2023, sponsored by Representative Mohammed Jamilu Katsina.
We will do our best to amend the laws.
Proper bills that will move our country forward.
This country needs to come together.
Nigeria will expect a very resolute House of Assembly.
You are still watching House Tickets, a weekly compilation of activities and events of your lawmakers in the House of Representatives sitting in Abuja. The House of Representatives has screened the presidential nominees to the board and management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, following their nomination by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Ad-hoc Committee, mandated to carry out this assignment, sat on Thursday, 12 October 2023 to discharge its duty. Let's find out details of what transpired there in our next report. Keep watching.
Justice for one is justice for all, and justice for all is justice for one.
In his presentation, the leader of the House, Representative Julius Ihovere, stated that the nominees are entrusted with the responsibility to plan a new course for critical interventionist agency and be just and fair to all the communities. He charged the nominees to be guided by the fear of God and respect for the Constitution in discharging their duties.
Nigerians are watching. They expect the best of you. They expect to become very proud of your achievements in a very short time. So the ball will be back to your court after this screening, and we make our recommendations to the House and it is approved.
I'd like to welcome you all to this very important occasion.
Earlier in her remarks, the chairman of the Ad-hoc Committee, Representative Iriata K. Ibori, said that after due consultation by the leadership of the Senate as well as the House, the Ad-hoc Committee was constituted and mandated to honor President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's request on the confirmation of the nominations of the chairman as well as other members of the NDDC board in accordance with the provision of the Niger Delta Development Commission Establishment Act of 2000.
Today we screen the same nominees in the same manner they were screened in the Senate at the Senate Committee of the Whole. Thereafter, the committee shall make recommendations to the House for their confirmation. I want to use this as an opportunity to thank the leadership of the House for their immense support and the opportunity to serve. I wish all of us a successful exercise. Thank you.
As nominees to the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission.
The nominated NDDC chairman, Mr. Chiedu Ebie, is an indigene of Ika South local government area of Delta State and a lawyer trained in the University of Benin and called to the bar in 1992. He highlighted his visions for the NDDC.
My cumulative experience in both the public and private sectors have instilled in me the core values, resilience, and unwavering dedication required for the role of chairing the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission, should we receive the confirmation from this esteemed House. Furthermore, my public service positions, particularly during my tenure as SSG and Secretary of the State Security Council, have provided me with a comprehensive understanding of the needs of the region. In these capacities, I actively engaged in discussions and mediated on issues of paramount significance, including stakeholder disputes and security concerns in the oil and non-oil producing communities of the state.
The committee will allow them to take a vote.
The deputy minority leader of the House, Representative Ali Issa Jesse, appealed to the committee to allow the nominees to take a bow, having undergone similar screening and confirmation by the Senate.
We know the rigorous exercise before you be elected as a member of House of Representatives or a senator, whether through documentation or integrity test. So we have confidence of every nominee that was a member of National Assembly will represent the country very well. And we will also be a good ambassador of the National Assembly. Our culture always is for them to take a bow and go.
Motion carried.
The nominees confirmed include Chairman Mr. Chiedu Ebie from Delta State, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, Bayelsa State, Executive Director Finance and Admin Mr. Boma Iyayi, Rivers State, Executive Director Projects Mr. Victor Antai, Akwa Ibom State, and Executive Director Corporate Services Honorable Ifedayo Abegunde, Ondo State. Other members of the NDDC Governing Board confirmed include Mr. Kirian Ikchegbu, Imo State, Chief Dingba Eruba, Abia State, Right Honorable Orok Otuduke, Cross River State, Honorable Nick Wende, North Central, Honorable Abdurazak Namdas, Northeast, and Senator Dr. Abdullahi Ibrahim, Northwest.
Time to end the program here. We encourage you to follow our social media handles showing on your screen to catch up with our previous programs. Until I come your way again, stay safe.